Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of the complete modding guide series for Assetto Corsa, in which I show you how to make a car. And in this video we will cover the materials and shaders. So we will take our FBX file and we will convert it into Assetto Corsa vehicle. It's not drivable yet, but it looks quite nice. It has all proper materials set up. So it has this leather materials, a few kinds of leather materials. It has the plastic, etc. And each part of it is actually paintable. So when I choose the paint shop, I can change color of the car easily, the second color of the car as well. I can color the leather, so I can have, I don't know, orange or yellow, whatever, floor or black seats, etc. So each part of the interior is paintable separately, right? I will teach you how to do that. For some reason, the roof is not paintable. I'm gonna have to fix that later. But for now, let's focus on the basics. So I will show you how to use KSEditor. To access KSEditor, you need either go to the Assetto Corsa folder, SDK, editor, and open KSEditor. Or what I recommend, because that always works and has no bugs like this one, even though they are probably the same file or whatever. I installed mine from Steam. So if you have Assetto Corsa on Steam, and you should have it at least, then in the tools you can download the Assetto Corsa SDK, which is the KSEditor. Alright, the other part you will need is Photoshop for the textures, or any other 2D graphics software which supports DDS files. You can use GIMP or Krita, for example. Doesn't really matter, as long as it supports DDS files, it's fine. Alright, so we finished last episode by this point. So we had our model exported into a new car folder in cars. So now I will open this FBX in KSEditor and I will explain a few parts. First of all, your car will probably be in black and white first time you open KSEditor, because that's the default for some reason. And to change that, you need to go to the illumination tab, set weather to mid clear, and set PP filter to default. Alright, so that's how you actually achieve this view instead of these black and white cloudy settings. Right, so this KSEditor window might seem a little bit confusing at first, but trust me, it's actually quite clear and very simple once you start working with it. So, alright, so now I will explain all of the different parts of the UI. So, when you click on the material, right click on any mesh with that material applied, you will have material properties right here. We will cover what they do in a bit. For now, I want to show you the UI only. So here is the shader list. We have many different shaders, but don't worry, we're gonna use 5 or maybe up to 10 different shaders for our car. So don't worry about the amount of them. Here we have general properties of your material. We don't really need that. We only need blend mode, which we set to alpha blend when we have transparent meshes. We will cover transparent meshes in a while. Next, here you have material properties. So everything that makes the material look different. So for example, when I choose, okay, let me copy the other texture first. Or actually AC modes, common textures, and I will choose no AO texture, right, to have some nice little white body. So when you change values of this, your material is starting to look different, to take color, etc. Right here, as you could see a moment ago, is the texture menu. So here you choose textures. For different materials you can have multiple textures, of course. So for this, for example, we have diffuse, normal map, like, I don't know how to call this map, but it's kind of properties map. I will explain that later as well. And detail texture. So don't worry about what they mean for now. I will explain. For now, just know that here are properties and here are the textures for your material. The last part, here is the material menu. You can choose materials directly from here, and they show up in the top menu too, so you can edit them easily. Sorry. And the last part actually is these little 4 buttons. They are for transparency and cast shadow flags. So basically they are kind of self-explanatory. So for example, if you have glass, you want it to be transparent, so you set transparent flag to on. And yeah, that's the UI. Alright, now that we have the UI covered, I will begin working with shaders. So first of all, ksPerPixel is the most basic shader of the bunch. So it has only, let's say, 4 values, because ksEmissive and ksAlphaRef are not really used frequently. So they have ksAmbient and ksDiffuse, ksSpecular and ksSpecular exp. What does it mean? Well, let me apply the texture actually to car paint. I will just add some basic white texture. And now, ksAmbient is intensity of base ambient color of this object. So imagine your car is sitting under a tree or in a tunnel or whatever, in a dark area without any lights. So this defines your base level of color brightness and intensity in the dark shadowed areas. ksDiffuse is very similar. It defines brightness of your color and intensity under direct light. So there is a sun shining on the car, and if I set ksDiffuse to higher value, for example 1, it's much brighter. So under direct light it's much brighter. I hope it's clear enough, this explanation. Next is the ksSpecular and Specular exp. Specular is kinda self-explanatory. It's brightness of your specular lights, so the shiny reflective spots on your car. So when I set it to 1, for example, wait, let me decrease this first. As you can see, when I set it to higher number, the intensity and brightness of the reflexes, specular reflexes, is getting bigger. I usually set it to like 0.8 or whatever. And now specular exp, actually I will set it to back to 5 to show you the exactly how exp works. Basically, exp is the sharpness and broadness of your specular light. So the higher it is, the more direct the specular light is. The more it's more sharp and also a bit smaller, more direct. So that's the specular exp. Basically, the higher you go with the specular value, the higher you wanna go with your exp value to keep it balanced. And also you want your specular to be between 0 and 1, not to have like 10,000 specular. That would never work quite well. Alright, so that's the specular. KSEmissive is emissive values in RGB. So if you want your material to emit light, for example, I want my car to shine red for some reason, I can just set red to 10, and maybe if I want it to be yellow, I will also put green to 10, and you know that this is basically a value of RGB light. Even for some reflective object, so emissive objects, sorry, like digital screens, for example, you don't really want to use KSEmissive because CSP lights are much easier to control than KSEmissive. So I would recommend just leave it at 0 in all cases. Maybe in some rare cases, if you know what you're doing, it's fine to use it, but I wouldn't really recommend it for now. ksLFRF, it's not used as well. It's transparency threshold, so basically how transparent does your alpha channel need to be for the mesh to be transparent. So don't worry about those two. We won't be using them in this tutorial. We're gonna be using ambient, diffuse, specular, and exp. Alright, so we've got our 4 base properties covered. Now let's move to the other. The other shader will be ksPerPixelReflection. This adds 5 new values: Fresnel C, Fresnel exp, Fresnel max level, and is additive. Fresnel C is base reflectivity at the direct view on the mesh. So for example, okay, my texture is quite bad for this, to be honest. Also, we need Fresnel max level first. So Fresnel max level is maximum level of reflection. Fresnel C is level of reflectivity at the direct view at the object, and Fresnel exp is how quickly the reflectivity is changing at some smaller viewing angles. So yeah, it's really hard to show it here, to be honest, because it works mostly on the actual maps and not just the clouds. But yeah, we will be working mostly with the Fresnel max level, to be honest. As you can see, this is almost like a chrome right now. and yeah, basically you want usually to keep your values small. And the last part is additive. It takes value of either 0 or 1, it's boolean. If you select 1, you enable additive blending. What that means, it's quite hard to explain, to be honest, because it's a whole different topic on the graphics theory. Basically, it mixes the RGB of your texture with the background, making the result a bit brighter, and it creates a little bit of a glow effect around the car when there are lights around. You might want to read a bit more about additive blending if you want to know more about this certain topic. Next, we have normal maps. So ksPerPixelNM, this one right here, normal. I don't want it for my body actually. Where is it? Alpha test. I don't want alpha test. I want it for number plate, for example. And to stop working with abstract information, I will actually take a little break from the shaders for now and explain how to copy specific shaders from other cars. So I will select ksPerPixelNM for the number plate, and I will choose the number plate texture from already converted car. Let me see, it's here and here. Plate diffuse and plate normal map. So I've got my number plate, and how do I make it look decent? Well, you select one of the existing cars. I recommend getting some from my Patreon, preferably some newer ones that I released lately, like this Sonata or Envision, maybe Hyundai Pony for example, and take the props from them as a base. So to do that, you go into CM showroom, click on the material you're interested in, for example this number plate, and right here you can see a few general properties of this material. So you can see name of the material and some very basic stuff about it and the textures, so you won't be needing that. What you need is txDiffuse. When you click three dots next to it, you will see the texture. You can look how the texture looks like, what's the resolution, etc., to get the general idea what the texture is supposed to do. For example, if I click on car paint, we have 4 textures, and upon checking the car paint AO, I can see that it's ambient occlusion texture. So those are the textures if you want to see what the specific texture does. And the most important part, material, and click the 3 dots next to this material. Right here you can see the window with all properties. So you can see that it's ksPerPixel normal map, the same shader that we already selected. Blend mode is set to opaque. Yep, that's what we have. It is not transparent, obviously. And right now we can just copy the values from existing car. And just like that, we have our number plate colored. Great. We can do the same for the windows, for example. Exterior windows are the ksPerPixelReflection shader. So we take the shader, so reflection. It is alpha blend and it is transparent. So we set blend mode to alpha blend and we set transparency to on. txDiffuse is black 2. If you don't have any transparent texture on you right now, you can also click on the texture menu and export it. Remember, feel free to take any texture and material props from my cars, but if you use other modders' assets, please at least give them the credits in description of the mod, just to, you know, respect their work, right? So yeah, that's quite important thing to mention. Okay, and now that we have the texture, we will now copy the properties. We have a nice reflective window. Great. And that's basically it for copying the materials. So now that we have discovered, I can go back to actually covering the normal map text properties. So normal object space and both. It's actually quite simple, and we're not gonna need that anyway, probably. Like normal object space, if you set it to 1, it enables the different modes. So it uses object space normal map instead of tangent space normal maps. You can read more about it. I don't feel qualified enough to explain it, so yeah, you might want to read about object space normal maps. Same for both. I never really used this part. I'm guessing this defines kinda how the double-sided mesh properties work, but as I said, I never really used it, and yeah, it would be better to just not give you a wrong idea about it while I'm not sure myself. So normal map basically doesn't add any properties we want to use, and except for the object space, we just have another normal map texture. Okay, and now we have the most important part, which is Multimaps. We're gonna use ksPerPixel Multimap and Multimap Normal Detail. They are very similar to each other. You usually use Multimap for car paint, for example. And now it's a good time to explain what the texture actually do. And for that I will actually select normal detail normal detail instead of the multimap itself, but I will do so for the interior instead, because for the leather I will actually use normal detail. Now txDiffuse is an ambient occlusion map, so AO map. You don't have AO maps for now, so we will just use plain white texture. txMaps as well, you don't have it generated yet. So what I usually do actually for the interior materials, as I said in Blender tutorial, I will rename it to materials AO to have some base already, and materials map. So I set txDiffuse to AO and texture map to materials map. And I do this for every material of the interior which I mapped to the same UV map. So plastics, floor, and different kinds of leather. txNormal is normal map for the whole mesh. Usually you're gonna use flat normal map for that because you don't want normal map for the whole mesh. You might want it if you actually have like those kind of stripes and bumps here. You might want use global normal map then, but yeah, in my case I don't have any normal maps for the whole object. Texture detail. Now here comes the important part. It is important because it will be the part that allows us to color our car. That's because the naming matters here. For example, as you can see in this CSP documentation page, if you want to have colorable leather, you want your detail texture to be called leather.dds. Sorry. So for the leather, I'm gonna choose leather.dds. And also, actually now I will copy the properties of this shader. 25, 25, 10, 0, 0. Alright. Now, another part is detail normal. This is normal map for your detail. So I want leather normal map, which will add some cool wrinkles to the leather. And now it's a good time to explain all multi-map properties, because I know it can be quite confusing for now. The most important part, you want to use detail for your colorable parts, to use detail texture and normal detail texture. As you can see, detail texture along with normal map create little details on the material. And now I can use detail UV multiplier to change the size of the detail texture. So I can have the wrinkles very big or a little bit smaller, depending on what effect I'm after at the moment. That's quite simple, I think. Once you start working with it again, we're gonna make plastic in a second to demonstrate it a bit better. Next part is shadow bias. This adjusts shadow projection bias for the material and This might be useful to reduce flickering of your textures in direct light. And detail normal blend. This sets the amount of blending of your detail normal. As you can see, the bigger value is a bit more blending, right? More sharpness. Alright, that's it for this normal detail. And now, if you want to have different kind of leather, you can just use copy material, select leather B, select the same shader, and material tools, paste material, and boom, all of your properties are now saved. Now we're gonna use the same AO map, the same normal map, sorry, not normal map, but the mesh map, the same normal map, the same normal map for the details, so leather normals. And now, if I want it to be the same color as this one, I will simply select leather DDS, and they will be colored together. But if I want this to be different color than the seats, I need to add other texture, so leather _2 DDS. It looks the same, but then in CM showroom, let me show you on the case of Mustang. In CM showroom, it will be colorable separately. So here is the seats, I believe. Yep, the seats, and no, not here. Here is the dash. That's because although they have the same AO map, normal map for the detail, and the same materials map, they have different texture of the details themselves, which take care of the colors. Same for the car paint. Car paint 1 has, or rather car paint A has metal detail DDS, as mentioned in the documentation. Again, metal detail DDS here, and car paint B has obviously metal detail 2 DDS, which is the same texture as here, but it's separate files, so it can be painted separately. Okay, that's pretty much how the CM Paintshop works, so yeah. And there are actually two more values which I will show you. They are available only for the standard multi-map, which you're gonna use for the car paint. And they are Sun Specular and Sun Specular EXP. Sun Specular is extra reflection from the sun, coming directly from the sun, and EXP is sharpness of that specular. Right now we can see the difference because we don't have car paint textured, and actually let's texture it right now. So I will again select my material. Now select flat normal map, select no AO, but I will actually call it car paint AO. and I want it to be as a diffuse, not a map. For the map I want car paint map, and I want texture to be metal detail. Now we will copy the values from here. Yeah, and as you can see, specular is pretty much the same as the standard specular. So sun specular and specular are very similar. Sun specular, it just comes directly from the sun. So again, I have bigger value for the specular, but I also want bigger value for exp. Alright, and that's it, I think, for the shaders and properties. You will just need to experiment with them a bit. I will now copy this to car paint 2 because they are basically the same material, just with different detail. I'm gonna choose car paint AO, car paint map for the texture map, normal map, and then metal detail 2. And this will be colored separately right now. Right, also don't worry if your materials look too bright compared to actual car from CM showroom, because I will show you this on the example of Chrome. Uh, 0201 02. I will select materials AO, materials map, or actually no, for this it's metal AO. Remember, we made it a different UV map in the Blender, so it's metal AO and metal map. Flat normal, and I can actually use metal detail as a detail because Chrome is not paintable and I'm not using detail for Chrome. I just want to use the AO. As you can see, it's extremely bright compared to this. That's because here we already have the AO texture, and here the AO is just a white texture, so it's extremely bright. It has no shadows at all. Metal AO. As you can see, completely white, so it will be extremely bright. So yeah. The last part, I will actually cover the kind of special shaders. There are 3 of them. So in total we learned Multimap, ksPerPixel, ksNormal, ksReflection, and we're left with ksTires for the tires, obviously. You want ksWindscreen for interior side windows. Remember also to set it to alpha blend and transparent on, and to have some transparent textures like glass. And the last one is ks brake disc. which have, for example, break this glow texture as well. You know, when break this gets really hot. Alright, so feel free to experiment with your materials, and the next part of this tutorial will be generating actual AO and maps for our car, so it doesn't look extremely bright right here. Alright, so the next part will be generating AO. So once you saved your car as a KN5, sorry, I actually forgot to show you how to do this. You just, when you're done working on your car, you click File, Save Persistence, and then File, Save KN5, Car, and select your car folder. So in my case it will be Mustang convertible, and select is as whatever. I name it blz_Mustang. And that's it. Now your car doesn't have any UI. That's the first problem we will encounter. To fix that, you must create UI folder which will contain UI. I will actually copy UI.car_car.json from another car, so like that. And now you can go to Content tab and edit your info about your car. So Ford Mustang convertible 1975 or just 65. Credits, model, sorry, forgot the guy's name, I think Kevin Lagrange, but I will make sure that's correct. Edit tags, USA, rear wheel drive, let's say V8, vintage, it's definitely not a group B, convertible maybe, and I think that's enough tags. It's gonna be Ford from USA, year 1965, street car, I am the author, yep, and 0.1 is the current version. No need to update the spec for now, we will take care of that later, but that's how you update the UI. And actually, once you select the brand, for example, let's say it's Kia, because why not, the CM will automatically update your car icon. So when I change it back to Ford, I've got Ford badge, and it should actually show up here, I believe. Yep, badge. The other part, create a skins folder and create a new skin folder called default. By doing so, you will be able to enter Paintshop and actually save your car. So I will just quickly do some random spec of this car again, and I will save it. It's generating preview for us right now as well, and your car has a preview. Now the part we were actually set to do, updating AO. To update AO, you click on part of the texture set, or rather material set that you selected on the same UV map. For example, metal AO for all metals, and you will want to click on three dots right here and calculate AO of the desired size. But before we do that, there is actually one more thing we have to do, which is quite annoying, but that's how life is sometimes. So yeah, we need to click on every transparent object like window and click Alt H to hide all transparent objects. So hide all windows, also hide glass for the lights. We do that because for some reason Content Manager always thinks the glass should cast actual shadow, and once the glass blocks light sources, it generates very black shadowy AO instead of a proper one. So yeah, that's why we need to hide any shaders, any transparent objects. Alright, so let's generate the AO for the metal. Calculate AO. 1K will be definitely enough. Save. Save. Okay, we have AO. Great. Now we want to unpack KN5. If you don't see this option, by the way, enable developer mode in Content Manager. You go to About tab and you click a bunch of times on the version. Now open Mustang, and now we will also generate the map for this texture. So come on, right here. Here is our metal AO texture that we just generated. We want to load transparency as alpha channel, and making maps is actually really simple. You go to channels, click on green channel, select brush, paint it white, and that's it. You'll just save it as metal map.dds. And now when you go into KSEditor, you click on that, you can actually put your AO and map inside your texture folder. And now, once you put them here, you will be able to just click on texture reset, and our new textures will be applied. You can see that here actually because yeah, that's basically the same texture that I already had. But you know what? I have a new version of this car. I edited some things when it comes to metal, so I will happily show you how to generate it once again. So just give me a second. Alright, so once again I will hide all of the transparent meshes. Again, Ctrl H. And I will generate, actually I don't need to hide them anymore. I will generate the AO for the interior, because I've changed some parts, and as you can see, it's absolute mess. So again, I go to texture, calculate, Rendering time might depend on your poly count and of course graphic card, by the way. Alright, now save. Materials AO, yep, save. Now I'm gonna open the folder, not this folder, this folder. Materials AO, open in Photoshop, paint the green channel, save as, not AO but map, save, OK. I've got two textures, now I will copy them to texture folder, and now when I go to KSEditor I can reload them. As you can see, they reload automatically for all materials that use them. So yeah, I just updated AO for basically the whole thing. And yeah, I think that's enough actually for this tutorial. Let me see if I have anything more in my notes. Making texture maps, yes, we've done that already. And we're gonna take care of the car folder later. Yep. So that's everything when it comes to working with KSEditor. Maybe one more thing. When you don't want to make the whole car in one go, you can click File and Save Persistence. Then when you close the KSEditor and open it again later, your progress will be saved in this .ini file, which is the persistence file. So when you load it again, all materials will be there, saved for you. That's why I recommend saving persistence from time to time to avoid remaking everything when something goes wrong along the way. So yeah, that's it for today, I believe. And in the next video we're gonna take care of the basic data files, and we'll make the car actually run in game. We'll be able to drive it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, because I'd love to see this car come to life already. And yeah, good luck with your modding. Feel free to ask any questions if you have some, and also if you like this video, I would be really grateful if you either subscribe to this channel or followed my Patreon page. You can of course follow it for free, no need to pay if you don't feel like it, but of course I will be extremely grateful for a little tip as well. Right, so that's it, goodbye and see you in the next one.